always rained on the first day of June in Harana City. Not a storm, not a drizzle. Just that kind of soft, steady rain that blurred the glass windows and made the world feel quieter. People rushed past with umbrellas and wet shoes, but inside the small record shop on Mabini Street, the world moved slower. Adrian liked it that way. He sat behind the counter, sketching quietly in his notebook. The shop was his uncle's half music store, half forgotten memory box, posters from the 80s, crates of vinyl, the scent of old paper and coffee grounds. Not many people came in, not anymore. Except today, someone did. The door chimed, and Adrian looked up just as a tall boy stepped inside, water dripping from the hem of his hoodie. He pushed his bangs out of his eyes, blinking under the soft yellow lights. His shoes squeaked against the wooden floor. "Sorry," he said, a little breathless. "I just needed to get out of the rain." Adrian set down his pencil. "You're fine. Want a towel?" The boy laughed awkwardly, eyes scanning the shelves. "Is that an actual question? You just offer towels to random customers? Only the drenched ones?" He smiled then. Not shy, but like he hadn't smiled in a while and forgot how. "Thanks," he said, rubbing the back of his neck. Adrian ducked into the back room, tossed a towel over, and watched as the stranger wiped his face. He was probably around Adrian's age, maybe a little older. His hoodie had a school crest Adrian recognized, but didn't attend. He had a nice voice. Warm. "Didn't think people still ran record stores," the boy said, looking around. "They don't," Adrian replied. "We're a dying breed." "That's sad," Adrian shrugged. "Everything gets old." The boy hummed. He paused at one of the vinyl shelves, fingers brushing the spines carefully, almost reverently. "You ever just look at things and feel like you missed an entire lifetime?" Adrian glanced at him. "Is that a line?" The boy turned. "No. Maybe. I don't know. I like places like this. They feel like they remember things." Adrian didn't know what to say to that. Not many people talked like that anymore. The boy looked at him again, this time more directly. "I'm Eli, by the way. Adrian." They shook hands, briefly palmed damp from the towel, and that should have been it. A stranger waiting out the rain. But instead, Eli stayed. He wandered through the shop, asked questions about old bands, laughed at Adrian's sarcastic answers, even bought a second-hand Walkman just for the nostalgia. And when he finally left, just as the rain started to clear, he looked back and said, "See you around?" Adrian wasn't sure why, but he nodded. Eli came back the next day, then the next. Sometimes it rained, sometimes it didn't. But he always showed up, sometimes with food, sometimes with a story. They talked about music, about school, about how weirdly small Harana City felt. Eli said he used to live in Manila and moved here last semester after his parents split. Adrian didn't ask for more. He just listened. And somewhere between cassette rewinds and awkward eye contact, something shifted. There was a moment, barely anything, when Eli stood close behind Adrian, leaning over his shoulder to see what he was sketching. His breath touched Adrian's cheek, and time didn't move. "You draw people well," Eli whispered. "Do you ever draw someone you like?" Adrian turned his head slowly, their faces inches apart. He didn't answer. He didn't need to. But the thing about soft beginnings is that they make sharp moments cut deep. One afternoon, Ellie didn't come. Then 2 days passed. Then 4. Adrian didn't want to admit he noticed, but he did. The bell above the door stayed silent. The sketches in his notebook grew messier. He even snapped at a customer who touched the wrong record. It was a week later when Eli finally walked in. He looked tired. His hoodie was gone, replaced by a school uniform that didn't quite fit. His hair was damp from sweat, not rain. Adrian stared. "You disappeared." Eli gave a hollow laugh. "Yeah, sorry." "That's it?" I didn't think you'd care. Adrian's chest tightened. Why wouldn't I? Ely looked down at his hands. People leave. That's just what they do. Silence stretched between them. Adrian walked around the counter, voice quieter. You didn't even say goodbye. I was scared you'd tell me not to come back. Adrian exhaled. Idiot. Ely blinked. Huh. You don't just disappear from someone's life because you think you're not worth staying for. That's not how this works. For the first time, Ely looked like he might cry. He laughed instead, but it cracked at the edges. You're too nice. I'm not. I missed you. The air between them shifted again, softer now, but real. Ely took a step forward. I like you. Adrian swallowed. You're allowed to. I don't know what to do with that feeling. You don't have to. Not yet. They stood there, inches apart, the scent of dust and vinyl filling the silence. Outside the rain started again, soft, familiar. It fell like a soundtrack. Adrian reached for Adrian's hand. Not a grab. Just a touch. Gentle. Adrian didn't pull away. They didn't kiss right away. It wasn't a movie. But something unspoken passed between them, and it held. Ely started coming every other day, not always with stories, sometimes just to sit in the same room. They'd share headphones, watch the rain. Ely would draw little doodles in Adrian's notebook. Adrian would rest his head on Adrian's shoulder when no one was looking. It wasn't dramatic. It was real. And when the school year ended, they stood outside the shop as the summer heat rose like a slow breath. Ellie looked up at the clear sky and smiled. No rain today. Adrian nodded. Still feels like the same kind of quiet. Ellie bumped their shoulders together. Hey, you ever think we met because of the rain? Maybe, Adrian said. But I stayed because of you. Ailey turned to him. Can I kiss you now? Adrian didn't answer with words. And this time, the world didn't pause. It moved forward, softly, slowly, like a song with no chorus, only verses waiting to be written. Together,